Hey guys, my name is Tarek, and today I'm gonna do a little breakdown of one of my fights from the purple belt days. And yeah, today we're gonna be looking at me versus Felipe Mauricio in the open weight division. I think this was the second fight. I had one fight before this in the open weight, and yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff happening throughout the match, which is gonna be cool to watch and breaking it down bit by bit. Here we go. Yes. So straight away, I'm just gonna jump into it. So here we're on the mat, and I think I injured my foot a little bit in my weight division earlier that day, and yeah, as you can see, Mauricio is a little bit shorter than me, but he's a powerhouse, quite strong. So yeah, I was already going into this match knowing he's pretty good at takedowns, so I would want to do a really nice and clean guard pull. Unfortunately, he had other plans for me. Uh, yeah, so lesson learned, I'm quite predictable after the first attempt. So I try again really badly, and then the third time, he sees me approaching, and he's just like straight away kicking my leg. This sends me kind of like stumbling backwards. And as you can see, I'm off balance. He grabs my leg with this hand here, super nice, clean takedown, and gets me down. So yeah, bad start, but that's how it is. So yeah, we get reset into the middle. I'm quite comfortable in this knee shield kind of position as this is kind of a big part of my game. So working from there, I'm trying to go in for submissions and different grips. Watch how I go for the cross collar, and I'm looking to get the sleeve or the underhook here, and yeah, even loosen the lapel a little bit. I probably could have, yeah, not had that much focus on the collar. Probably too a little bit more on his arms. Yeah, nice underhook there. So now I want to push his face away so I can isolate his arm and probably go in for a Kimura trap. But he does a great job breaking my grips. There, yeah, super tough one. But watch how I'm always keeping my hips on the side here. This is also very important so that he doesn't flat me out and get like a over under pass or a stack pass in general, right? So here, nice. So a really nice thing, or nice and nice, not in my case, but what he does really well is when he sees that I'm entangling him in too much, he disengages and resets the position. And to be honest, as a guard player, this is actually worse because suddenly I have no connections to him, and he can re-engage on his terms into a much better position, right? So already here, this is pretty bad. So I'm trying to look for grips, but I don't want to risk too much, right? So I'm still staying on my side here, right? There we go. So he comes down and starts stacking a little bit. Very good. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So watch how I'm grabbing the far lapel here. And this is something I like to do to break people's posture. So I pass the lapel over their back, behind, like under the arm, over the head, or behind the head, and then I grab it like a cross stroke kind of collar grip there. This is kind of like a really nice way to keep people's posture broken or low. Especially now he's kind of giving me a low posture. But of course, very important here, I'm not allowing him to flatten me out. It's a constant grip fight there. Timed it, and I got into the close guard position. So I have a favorite sweep here, especially those days. Both, Eli. So, sorry. My dog is always angry at all the other dogs walking by outside, so excuse him. He has some issues. Okay, so here I got the close guard, and Felipe is gonna stand up, and this is actually one of my favorite sweeps. So as soon as he stands up, I'm looking for the muscle sweep, or it's actually has a Brazilian name as well, Katakuda sweep, I think. I probably butchered the name. But yeah, so I'm looking to hook the back of like bring my arm and underhooking his leg almost here, right? And I want to kind of use my hips to push his knee outwards. Okay, so I'm trying to sweep him almost towards the judge here. Okay, so or the referee, I mean. So here he does a really good job pinching his knees in, which doesn't allow me to kind of open his knee outwards, right? So here he goes a little bit off balance, walks a little bit back, but then watch how he turns his knee in here. Ah, this is terrible. So straight away, I lost this position, and I should have known better and transitioned to a safe kind of guard. For example, De La Hiva from here. That would be a really good idea. But I made the mistake because I had the underhook here, and my first thought was to go to the X guard, and so I let this hook here on this leg, I let it come off his hips, and what happens now is he just throws my leg to the side and dives in. Super clean by Felipe here. I think my toe is inside his gi, and that happens sometimes. Yeah, and it came out. Oh, let's go a little bit back. Stuff is happening here. So, oh, even further. Sorry, guys. So here, he got a solid side control position, but I'm already inverting, so my hips are off the floor in a sense, right? So I think probably he's really used to people lassoing the legs inside of here. So what happens is when I throw my leg in, he steps out, and then he just like a super clean pull with his right arm. So he just bounces me over to my to like a turtle position, and comes over around to my back, nice and clean, right? So he gets an advantage here as well, and this is pretty hard because losing by 2 points is one thing, right? Because then you can always sweep back and then it's even. But when the sweep battle isn't even because he has one advantage, it's going to be a strategical difference. So it's pretty hard to recover from this with the points, right? Or unless you get a 3 points somehow, or pass, or like take the back, right? So here I'm trying to recover guard from the turtle position, still inverting, getting my hooks inside. Yeah, so straight away I try to set up a counter here. So I love setting up the Kimura here, right? But what he does really well, he's posting his hand on the floor, he's straightening his arm, and from here he can just kind of like pull his arm straight up into like straight in the line up, I mean, and it's gonna make it hard for me to hold on to it. So here again, he can play pretty passive in a way here because he's already leading. So he's just waiting for me to kind of risk it and give him a really good chance at passing. Nice moving by Felipe here. He just went down on his knees. Probably feels pretty confident here in this position, so he can kind of stay here for a little bit. So I understand that I'm not really getting much from here. So I open my guard here, right? Yeah. And now I'm setting up a little bit of a different sweep. So I'm trying the lasso butterfly kind of sweep here. Funny part, it doesn't have any effect. So watch how you can't really see it on that side, but watch how I'm really having a lasso grip here. My leg is inside, and I'm hooking the opposite thigh with my leg inside here, okay? Usually I would grab the belt, but the belt wasn't there, so I just grabbed whatever I found, which was the gi at that time, right? And so the idea is that I'm trying to pull myself underneath him and sweep him over to my right, so towards the referee here. Yeah, as you can see, he doesn't really budge, and he has a really good base because he's up with this leg and he's down with this knee here. So this creates a really hard base, or a good base to defend the sweep there. As a reaction, I try to set up the Kimura straight away again, my favorite game, and yeah, he sees it coming, so he kind of stays tight with his elbow and then goes straight into like a over under kind of position, but he's always breaking the grip on his sleeve there. He's doing a great job. So collar sleeve again. Yeah, trying to go for a tornado sweep. Again, he has a really good base. He's a little bit heavier than me, but yeah, what he does really nice, he stays low. He doesn't really push too much of his weight on top of me, as that would let it happen much easier, right? So here I budge him 2 centimeters up into the air, but then he just comes back. Yeah, super clean there. Nice attempt there. He pulls my leg to the side. I managed to recover with my left leg, and now I'm just trying to get something right. So I'm getting a little bit desperate here. Uh, yeah. So it's a oh, there we go. Some guys from the other mat came inside. And yeah, it's a there's a couple of minutes here that goes into the grip fighting here, right? I'm really trying to find my way to budge this rock of a person. Yeah, nice. So 2 minutes and 45 seconds left of the fight. Yeah, trying some Marcelo sweeps here, with a hooking behind the heels. Yeah, I'm probably gonna cut this part out. It's not much happening. Now we're playing handsies. It's a big part of jiu-jitsu. And so yeah, he sets up for a knee slide, I believe. Yeah, that's a knee slide. And trying to go on my left side here. Very bad loop choke attempt, but it's something, right? Here, as you can see, the more I risk to get something, the easier it's going to be to pass my guard. And so he starts to see the openings here, but then he goes low again on his knees. Mm-mm-mm. Let's see. Yeah. Now we're getting desperate. Beautiful attempt there. So again, always trying the same. Back around. Ah, and that was like such a lucky move, but the timing was really nice. So watch here. So he's pulling back. He's bringing all his weight back to the leg behind here, and because of the timing, I'm pushing his other knee up. I can now kind of like sweep my other leg underneath and scissor it into kind of like precision. Let's try to do it a little bit slower. So there. Okay, so I'm in just like a double leg takedown basically. And there's a couple of mistakes that I do here when I try to take him down because his hips aren't touching the floor, which doesn't give me any points, right? So I need to get his hips down to the floor to get the points and hold it for 3 seconds. And basically, he does a really good job framing by grabbing my collar or just the fabric on my back and pushing it away with like almost like a stiff arm, right? My arms are still around his knees here, and here comes the thing that I should have done, right? So watch how his feet are on the floor here, right? Of course, they go a little bit up and down, but what I should have done here is I should have isolated his feet by almost like a triangle underneath his legs here, okay? Eventually, I would want to proceed further up and remove his post on the floor on the other side here, okay? So as you guys see, I'm basically just staying in the same position, not really progressing much, and yeah, this has its consequences. Oh, here. So I get his hips a little bit on the floor here for like half a second, and watch the referee almost giving them points. Oh, this is, you get your hopes up when you see the kind of those kind of things. So here, yeah, he does a great job at recovering. Well, let's take a little bit better look here. So he gets up on his elbow, and now kind of goes to a turtle position here, right? And obviously here I should have just moved up towards his back. Again, another mistake from my side. I was too focused on his legs. I was just, yeah, right there and then I wasn't thinking too much. Probably, yeah. So we're both standing again. I get an advantage, which means to get even, I only need 2 points, right? Of course, this is one of my things as well. I try to fake a guard pull. He pulls back. I start going in for like an ankle pick kind of position here. He sees it straight away and ragdolls me 2 times, and then proceeds just by pulling guard perfectly. And so what he does now, he locks me inside a half guard, grabs my lapel, and kind of just tries to hold out the 18 seconds that's left of the match. Super nice and tactical from Felipe here. And my first thought was, okay, I'm going to try to like stack pass or something. But then I kind of like remember the Hail Mary move I've done before. This is not something I really succeeded on in any competitions, but I've done it a couple of times in sparring. So basically, back step here, going straight into like a Kimura position. He's still holding on to my belt, or is it the lapel? Yeah, both of them work basically, whether he's holding whatever. And just trying to get that arm inside into like Kimura position here, right? So we can watch it one more time. So, important part, watch how his knees is pointing to the side here. This allows me kind of like to step over it. Okay, so if his knees were pointing up, there's a couple of other things that I would do instead. So, stepping over, I set up the Kimura grip and watch how the time runs out. Man, but that's how it is, right? Super awesome match by Felipe Mauricio, and yeah. Well done. So let's just get the arms raised here. A lot of belt tying here. Sorry guys, yes, I look like a NASCAR racer at that time. But that's what being an athlete is, right? You need sponsors, right? So yeah, super good match by Felipe Mauricio. Man, I would love to do another match with him for sure. So just a couple things that I see straight away that I can improve on, and one is for sure to be unpredictable when it comes to the beginning of the fight. It's very obvious that I like to pull guard with that grip and that side when I do it 3 times before he kind of like reacts, right? So what he did really nice was he kind of feeled me out a little bit and saw what I was trying to do. And so what I should work on there is definitely being a little bit more unpredictable and try maybe some foot sweeps first, or at least be sure not to get taken down, right? So I should sprawl there. Of course, that's how it is. He was really good at timing it, and I was already off balance by the time he kind of got the grip around my leg. Second thing I see that I do a lot is I'm very tunnel visioned here, and well, it's kind of like purple belt days, right? So my repertoire was probably a little bit smaller than it is now, right? And so I would just go for the same things over and over and over, and eventually, what happens then is it's very easy to defend or know the opponent's game, right? So for my part here, I should definitely learn to do different things from those kind of positions, from the knee shield right there. What you guys didn't see in this match, which is also a big part of my game, is the single leg X. But yeah, that was before the time I knew how to get into those positions cleanly, even when people are stacking on top of me as well, right? Yep, that's pretty much it for this video, and yeah, hope you guys liked it, and feel free to like and subscribe my videos if you like my content and the stuff that I post. Yeah, I would appreciate the support. Thank you guys.